Hey everybody, it's April 28th. I'm Adam, and this is your daily dose of today. Kind of had an evolutionary journey on these last few daily doses of today, and I want to continue that today with the conversation around self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is one of the key characteristics that separates human beings from the trees and grass and the things that are behind me that are alive. It's one of our distinct characteristics. And I can tell you also, when I look at successful people that I know, one thing I can tell you that's very common is that they are very or acutely self-aware. Remember yesterday how I spoke about when you have wide-ranging, swooping emotions, that you need to try and temper those and to be under control of those, and to try and set out a list of things that happened in the last week and to try and stop that this next week. That's actually being self-aware. So a lot of times we do these things or have these behaviors and we're completely unaware of it until somebody points it out to us, or until some crazy or catastrophic effect happens, and then we have to sit back and look at what actually transpired. Key example is if somebody videotapes you unaware doing something weird and they confront you about it afterwards, you having never seen the video, and they swear you did something. Let's take something like chewing with your mouth open. Like, man, you were chewing with your mouth open, you're really chomping, or what have you. You swear up and down it didn't happen. Then they play the video for you, and you look at it, and you're embarrassed, right? And you're in complete disbelief. Why? Because you weren't self-aware. And I take something like that because obviously that's an easy habit, and we teach all of our kids that growing up, and it's something that they have to be told over and over again. And what happens? Through repetitive conditioning, they are taught to chew with their mouth closed. And then it becomes what? Then it becomes instinct. Then it becomes just something that they do that's normal par for the course. Well, it's also the same way in business. If we look and talk about those things in business, a lot of times we can look at letting situations where we let our emotions get the best of us and we're completely unaware of it. For instance, we went off the handle and we're angry, or we did something out of another impulse, and we're really unaware until somebody actually sits down and talks to us. This is why it is super important to have a mentor or somebody you can rely on to sit down and counsel with on business. I have a good friend of mine that is equally, if not more so, successful than I am, that when he faces a challenging situation, that he'll send me a note or a phone call and he says, hey, I just want to have a phone call with you because I want to have some of your counsel. Now, why? We're about the same age, and I'd say we're about on par with everything. But why does he want to call me? It's not because I'm some wise sage that has had this crazy amount of success beyond him, but because, number one, he understands that I try and look at things through a lens and it works, but also is that he knows that you can't see the forest for the trees sometimes. Same thing with me. If I'm going through a situation, I do the same thing to him. Hey, I want to call, I want to have counsel. I just want to talk through whatever's going on. And sometimes just talking that out with somebody else allows you, without the other person even saying a word, allows you to actually digest it. Because you have to explain a lot of detail that when you're maybe just having an internal dialogue, you skip over a lot of those things. But when you're explaining to somebody else, you have to explain a lot more motive. You have to give them a lot more context that you might gloss over internally. And so that's why those things are valuable. And then what happens is, through that, you can become more self-aware, and becoming more self-aware allows you to govern yourself through a process. And a lot of times, what stands between you and your goals is not somebody else, but the way you interact with somebody else. If you think about any good sale that you've ever had, or a good purchase you've ever had, whether it's a vehicle or a home or what have you, yes, you have to like the vehicle, yes, you have to like the home, but why did you get that one? Why did you work with that one person to do it? It's because that relationship that you're able to do it. Very seldomly do we actually buy that car or buy that home from somebody we really dislike, that those real estate agents we don't like. It will make up any excuse in the world. It could be the best house, could be the best car, could be the best deal, but we'll walk away with it just because we don't like that person. But anyway, so I say all these things because it's the same way with us, right? In business, is that we have to be self-aware. If we're self-aware, we can help guide ourselves through that process. And the more successful you're going to be, the more self-aware you are, so that way you can control yourself and control the situation that you're in, and not let habits or ritual be an overriding force destroying your goals. Anyway, happy Sunday. This has been your Daily Dose of Today.